Liel didn't just serve dinner, it staged status. On a winter Thursday in Manhattan, the restaurant glowed under crystal chandeliers that scattered warm light across polished marble floors. The air smelled faintly of truffle oil, aged wine, and money. Conversations hummed in controlled tones. Laughter was measured. Even the clink of glasses sounded expensive. People didn't come here hungry. They came here to be seen. Anna Carter moved quietly between tables, part of the choreography. 25 years old, plain black uniform, dark hair pulled back into a tight ponytail, no jewelry, no makeup, no attempt to sparkle. She carried herself with stillness that some mistook for timidity. It was discipline. From the VIP table near the center of the room came the comment that would echo far beyond that night. "Don't spill the Bordeaux," Richard Vance said casually, inspecting his glass as though it contained a flaw that mattered. "You couldn't afford it." A few restrained laughs followed. Richard leaned back in his chair, silver at his temples, gold Rolex catching the chandelier light. His wife Candace sat beside him in a red silk dress, lips glossed, smile precise. Across from them, Derek, a rising crypto founder, carried the restless energy of someone newly wealthy. His girlfriend Lauren adjusted her diamond earrings and smirked. Anna set the bottle down carefully. "I'll replace the glass," she said evenly. No apology dripping with humiliation. No visible irritation. Just steady professionalism. Lauren leaned toward Derek, not lowering her voice enough. "She's probably never even eaten in a place like this, unless she was cleaning it." Candace's laugh was sharper this time. Anna turned away without breaking stride. Her shoulders remained relaxed. Her steps remained measured. Inside, something flickered, not anger, not shame. Recognition. She had heard worse in places far more dangerous. Anna had been working at Liel for 7 months. She chose late shifts. The customers were harsher, but the tips were better. Her coworkers liked her because she stayed out of drama. She worked hard. She didn't complain. But there was something different about her. She moved with awareness. She noticed exits. She clocked hand movements. She read tension before it surfaced. People thought she was shy. She was. She was trained. At the bar, she paused and slipped a worn photograph from her apron pocket. In it, she stood in desert fatigues, sun glaring overhead, a squad behind her. Dust hung in the air. Her face in the photo wasn't smiling. It was focused. "You okay?" Mike, the bartender, asked quietly. "Yeah," she replied, sliding the photo back into her pocket. He nodded. He had learned not to push. What no one at Liel knew was that Anna Carter had once been Sergeant Anna Carter. Navy Special Operations. Counterterrorism. Decorated. Respected. And tired. She had left not because she failed, but because she was done carrying ghosts. Her family had wealth of their own. Old money, high-rise buildings, boardrooms. But Anna walked away from that too. She wanted something quiet. Something simple. She thought she could disappear into ordinary life. And invisibility came easily in a room full of ego. The doors exploded open. 3 masked men rushed inside, guns raised. Everybody down. Screams shattered the room's polished composure. Glass crashed. Chairs scraped violently. Expensive clothing dragged through spilled wine. Richard yanked Candace beneath the table. Derek dropped instantly to his knees. Lauren sobbed openly. James Colton, the billionaire seated alone in the corner, froze for half a second before removing his watch. Anna stood in the center of the room, still holding a tray. She didn't scream. She didn't drop it. She assessed. 1 near the entrance. 1 near the bar. Leader approaching her directly. Her breathing slowed. The leader pressed his gun toward her forehead. "What's wrong with you? Get down." Around her, panicked whispers rose. "She's insane. She's going to get us killed. Just kneel." Anna didn't kneel. She watched his grip, his stance, the tension in his shoulders. 15 seconds began. She shifted off the line of fire. Her hand snapped to his wrist. A precise twist. The gun clattered to the floor. Her elbow struck his jaw. He collapsed. The second robber lunged wildly. She pivoted, driving a kick into his abdomen. He crashed backward through a glass table. The third pulled a knife instead of firing. Smarter, slower. She redirected his momentum, disarmed him, forced him to the ground. Silence. 15 seconds. 3 men down. Anna stood breathing evenly. The room stared. No applause. Only shock. Police arrived within minutes. Officers moved quickly, cuffing the robbers and clearing the scene. One officer stopped when he saw her. "Sergeant Carter," he said, stunned, "I thought you retired." She nodded once. "I did." "You saved my team in Kabul," he said quietly. The room absorbed that revelation. And yet pride is stubborn. Richard straightened his torn cuff. "She endangered everyone." Candace nodded quickly. It was reckless. Greg, the manager, face flushed with stress, approached her. "You could have gotten us sued," he snapped. "What were you thinking?" "I was thinking they had guns," Anna replied calmly. "You're fired." The word landed heavy. A few guests looked satisfied. Invisible again. Then James Colton stood. "I don't see recklessness," he said clearly. "I see the only person here who stayed calm." He turned to Greg. "If this is how you treat competence, that's a leadership problem." Greg faltered. Colton extended his hand to Anna. "I'd like to offer you a position, head of security for my company." Gasps rippled across the restaurant. Richard's jaw tightened. Anna studied Colton for a moment. "On one condition," she said, "I run it properly." He smiled slightly. "Good." By morning, the security footage had leaked. The 15-second takedown spread across social media. But so did the beginning. The Bordeaux comment. The laughter. The sneer. Public opinion moved fast. Richard's firm faced backlash. Clients questioned his judgment. Candace's upcoming charity gala lost sponsorship. Derek's investors paused funding. Lauren locked her social media. Anna said nothing publicly. She reported to her new office quietly. Colton's headquarters overlooked Manhattan from 40 stories up. Glass walls, sleek interiors, boardrooms filled with executives who measured power in quarterly returns. Anna entered her first security briefing wearing a simple navy suit. Some executives recognized her from that night. Their tone had changed. Respect now. But she didn't chase it. She began restructuring protocols, emergency response systems, threat assessments, personnel training. She noticed vulnerabilities no one else had seen. Not because she was smarter, because she had lived real consequences. Within months, attempted breaches were intercepted before escalation. A cyber threat was neutralized after she flagged irregular internal behavior others had dismissed. Colton's board stopped questioning her. They started listening. Despite professional success, Anna struggled with something quieter. At night, the old memories returned. Dust-filled streets. Radio static. The split-second decisions that never left you. She had taken the waitress job hopping to escape that world. But courage isn't something you clock out from. One afternoon, a junior analyst approached her. "I was there that night," the woman said softly. "I didn't say anything when they mocked you. I'm sorry." Anna considered her. "It's done," she said gently. Forgiveness didn't require speeches. It required moving forward. Months later, Anna encountered Richard Vance again at a corporate fundraising event hosted by Colton. He hesitated before approaching her. "I suppose I misjudged you," he said stiffly. Anna met his eyes. "You didn't misjudge me," she replied calmly. "You didn't look." The words landed heavier than anger would have. Richard had no response. The true change wasn't viral fame or promotions. It was internal. Anna realized she hadn't wanted invisibility. She had wanted peace. And peace wasn't about hiding. It was about standing steady, regardless of who underestimated you. One evening, leaving the office, a street vendor held up a simple beaded bracelet. For you. The small gesture struck something deep. She bought it. Keep the change, she said. She slipped it into her pocket, beside the worn photograph. 2 pieces of her life. Warrior. Civilian. Both real. Both hers. 10, the ending that was loud. Anna never gave interviews. Never wrote a book. Never capitalized on the fame. She built a security division, respected across industries. She mentored young veterans, transitioning into civilian careers. She quietly funded programs, helping former service members find purpose beyond combat. She didn't do it for redemption. She did it because she understood what it meant to feel unseen. The night at Liel had not changed who she was. It revealed who she had always been. And that was enough. If you've ever been talked down to, laughed at, underestimated, dismissed, remember this. People judge what they don't understand. They mistake silence for weakness. They mistake simplicity for lack of depth. They mistake humility for insignificance. But strength doesn't need volume. And real power doesn't announce itself. Sometimes it waits quietly in the center of the room. Until the moment it's needed. And then it moves. 15 seconds. That's all it took for the world to see Anna. But she had been that strong all along. On a cold Thursday night in Manhattan, Liel glowed like it always did. Crystal chandeliers scattered soft gold light across marble floors. Wine glasses sparkled. The air carried the scent of truffle oil and expensive perfume. Conversations blended into a smooth hum of power and performance. Liel wasn't just a restaurant. It was a stage. And that night, like every night the wealthy performed, Anna Carter moved through the room quietly, almost unnoticed. 25 years old. Plain black uniform. Scuffed flats. Dark hair pulled back into a tight, practical ponytail. No jewelry, no makeup, no effort to shine. She carried a tray balanced perfectly in one hand, her movements calm and deliberate. Not slow, not rushed, just steady. To most of the guests, she was background. A moving part of the machine. A shadow. From the VIP table near the center of the room came a voice that cut cleanly through the air. "Don't spill the Bordeaux," the man said casually. "You couldn't afford it." The laughter that followed wasn't loud. It didn't need to be. Richard Vance leaned back in his chair, perfectly tailored suit, silver hair slicked back. His gold Rolex caught the chandelier light as he lifted his glass. Beside him sat his wife, Candace, wearing a fitted red silk dress and a smile sharpened by habit. Across from them, Derek, a tech founder riding the high of crypto success, and his girlfriend Lauren, who wore her diamonds like a statement. Anna set the bottle down carefully. "I'll replace the glass," she said evenly. No apology soaked in humiliation. No irritation. Just calm professionalism. Lauren leaned toward Derek. "She's probably never even eaten somewhere like this unless she was cleaning it." Candace's laugh followed, light but pointed. Anna turned away without changing her pace. Her shoulders stayed relaxed. Her breathing steady. But inside, something shifted. Not anger. Recognition. She had heard worse. In places where mistakes had consequences far beyond bruised egos. Anna had worked at Liel for 7 months. She chose the late shifts. The customers were harder. The tips were better. Her coworkers liked her because she didn't gossip or complain. She worked, she helped, she left. But there was something different about her. She noticed exits. She clocked tension in a room before anyone else did. She moved like space mattered. People mistook it for shyness. It was. It was training. At the bar, she paused and pulled a small photograph from her apron pocket. The edges were worn soft. In it, she stood in desert fatigues, sun harsh overhead, dust in the air. A squad of soldiers stood behind her. Her expression in the photo wasn't smiling. It was focused. "You good?" Mike, the bartender, asked. She slid the photo back into her pocket. "Yeah." He nodded. He never pushed. What no one in Liel knew was that Anna Carter had once been Sergeant Anna Carter. Navy Special Operations. Counterterrorism. Decorated. Feared. Respected. And exhausted. She hadn't left because she failed. She left because she was tired of carrying ghosts. Her family had money too. Old money, real estate, influence. But Anna walked away from that life. She wanted quiet. She wanted ordinary. She wanted to be invisible. And invisibility came easily in a room full of ego. The VIP table got louder as the night went on. Richard held up his glass again. "You missed a spot." "I'll replace it," Anna said. Candace tilted her head. "You should smile more. It helps the ambience." Anna met her eyes. "I'll keep that in mind." The answer unsettled her. Not submissive. Not rude. Neutral. Neutral unsettles people who want control. In the corner sat James Colton. 35. Tech billionaire. Quiet. Observant. He hadn't spoken much, but he had been watching. When Anna passed his table, their eyes met for a brief second. He didn't look at her like staff. He looked at her like a variable he hadn't yet solved. And then everything changed. The doors burst open with violent force. 3 masked men stormed inside, guns raised. Everybody down. The room shattered. Screams. Glass breaking. Chairs scraping. Richard yanked Candace beneath the table. Derek dropped instantly to his knees. Lauren sobbed. Colton froze for half a second before removing his watch. And Anna stood in the center of the room, still holding a tray. She didn't scream. She didn't drop it. She assessed. 1 near the door. 1 near the bar. Leader approaching her. Her breathing slowed. The leader pressed his gun toward her forehead. "What's wrong with you? Get down." Around her, panicked whispers rose. "She's crazy. She's going to get us killed. Just kneel." Anna didn't kneel. She watched his grip. His stance. The tension in his shoulders. 15 seconds began. She shifted off the line of fire. Her hand snapped to his wrist. Twist. The gun hit the floor. Her elbow struck his jaw. He dropped. The second robber lunged wildly. She pivoted and drove a precise kick into his abdomen. He crashed through a glass table. The third pulled a knife. Smarter. Slower. She redirected his momentum. Disarmed him. Pinned him to the floor. Silence. 15 seconds. 3 men down. Anna stood breathing evenly. The entire restaurant stared. But instead of gratitude, the first whisper wasn't relief. "She's dangerous. Normal people don't move like that." Fear had changed direction. Police arrived within minutes. Officers secured the scene. One officer stopped when he saw her. "Sergeant Carter," he said, stunned. She nodded. "You trained with us in 2018. The room absorbed that. "She saved my unit," he added quietly. Everything shifted. But pride resists truth. Richard straightened his cuff. "She still endangered us." Candace nodded. It was reckless. Greg, the manager, red-faced and shaking, stormed toward her. "You could have gotten us sued," he snapped. "What were you thinking?" "I was thinking they had guns," she replied calmly. "You're fired." The word landed heavy. A few guests looked satisfied. Invisible again. Then James Colton stood. The room quieted. "I don't see recklessness," he said clearly. "I see the only person here who stayed calm." He turned to Greg. "If this is how you treat competence, that's a leadership issue." Greg faltered. Colton extended his hand to Anna. "I'd like to offer you a position, head of security for my company." Gasps rippled across the room. Richard's jaw tightened. Anna looked at Colton. "On one condition," she said, "I do it properly." He nodded. "Good." The next morning, the footage leaked. The internet saw everything. The insult. The sneer. The 15 seconds. Public reaction moved fast. Richard's firm faced backlash. Candace's charity lost sponsors. Derek's investors paused funding. Anna said nothing. She reported to her new office quietly. 40 floors above Manhattan. Glass walls. Boardrooms. Executives who had once been served by her. They stood when she entered. Not because of fear. Because of respect. She rebuilt security systems from the ground up. She trained teams with discipline, but not ego. She noticed vulnerabilities others ignored. Within months, threats were intercepted before they escalated. Colton stopped introducing her as the woman from the restaurant. He introduced her as our head of security. No qualifiers. One evening, months later, Anna attended a corporate gala hosted by Colton. In the crowd, she saw Richard Vance. He hesitated before approaching her. "I suppose I misjudged you," he said stiffly. Anna met his eyes. "You didn't misjudge me," she replied calmly. "You didn't look." He had no answer. That was the real moment. Not the fight. Not the viral fame. This. The quiet acknowledgement that invisibility had been a choice imposed on her by others. She left the event early. Outside, a street vendor held up a simple beaded bracelet. "For you." The small gesture hit deeper than the gala applause ever could. She bought it. "Keep the change." She slipped it into her pocket, beside the worn photograph. Warrior. Waitress. Security director. All the same person. Anna never wrote a book. Never did interviews. Never capitalized on the fame. Instead, she quietly started hearing veterans who struggled to transition into civilian life. She built a program within Colton's company to train them in corporate security. She gave them structure, purpose, dignity. She understood what it meant to feel unseen. Years later, someone asked her during a leadership panel what changed her life. She didn't mention the restaurant. She didn't mention the fight. She said something simple. "People will underestimate you. That's not your weakness. It's their blind spot." That was the ending. Not applause. Not revenge. Growth. Because that night at Liel didn't make Anna strong. It revealed the strength that had always been there. And if you've ever stood in a room where people assumed you were small, if you've ever stayed quiet while someone tried to shrink you, remember this. Silence is not weakness. Calm is not submission. And the person nobody notices may be the one holding the entire room together. It only takes one moment for the world to see what was always there. 15 seconds revealed Anna to them. But she had been that strong long before anyone looked.